Bitcoin will hit $1 million this cycle. Here's why. Now, we all know Samson Mow has been predicting 1 million can come as soon as days to weeks after the approval of the ETF. We all know we finally got the ETF approval on January 10th, roughly a month out. The following day, January 11th, they went live. And since there have been massive inflows into these ETFs. So let me break down this story. I'm going to read a couple of headlines and a few tweets. 1 million for Bitcoin. Samson Mow bullish on MicroStrategy after learning this. And another headline, Bitcoin bull Michael Saylor breaks his silence on the Bitcoin price. But I actually want to start here. So here's a tweet from Samson Mow yesterday on Valentine's Day at 6:43 p.m. Many will sell at 100,000 per coin, which is 0.1 million BTC. Many more will sell at 500,000 per coin, which is $500,000 BTC / 0.5 million. They will need to earn it back at 1 million. There won't be any more opportunity to buy Bitcoin with fiat. And then someone asked, shout out Crypto T, because no one will accept fiat anymore. Mow responded, there's a point at which you don't trade superior money with inferior money. You might exchange dollars for seashells for jewelry, but not as a store of value. And exactly my sentiment and exactly how I think. Why would you ever want to sell the apex predator for the inferior Ponzi scheme, tulip bulb, fiat currency, if you know what I mean? Now, shout out to Undisclosed who wrote here, I think Samson Mow will be validated much sooner than people expect on his 1 million Bitcoin prediction. I can see it happening this cycle. How many of you can see it happening this cycle? Let me know in the live chat, fam. I remember late April 2016, 2 months before the halving, the price was roughly 430 bucks. It went up 46x. By December 2017, we are 20x away from 1 mil. Now let that sink in. And how many of you were around in Bitcoin back at the 2016 halving in April? And do you guys recall Bitcoin soaring 46x to that $20,000 local all-time high back in December of 2017? I remember I didn't get started till 2017, so unfortunately I missed the halving, but the following year I saw Bitcoin rise from 1,500 when I got involved to 20,000 that same year. And what if we were to have another bull run like that, considering we're in unprecedented territory right now? We have institutional FOMO with mass buying from these ETFs. All of this didn't exist in the previous halvings. You got to keep that in mind. And also, as pointed out here, from the 50,000 level, we're only 20x away from $1 million per coin. So if a couple of halvings ago, we soared 46x, what if we were to soar half, achieve half of what we accomplished from that cycle? Then you're realistically looking at $1 million per Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. Now the conditions are much more favorable for a massive bull run, in my opinion, since we are already seeing ETFs buying more Bitcoin than are being mined every day. In fact, I shared an interview the other day with Pompliano on CNBC talking about the ETF demand is 12.5x the daily issuance. And we all know the daily issuance of the miners is about to get cut in half via the Bitcoin halving only 61 days out, which means there's going to be double that demand, which turns 12.5x demand into 25x. And we all know 80% of the Bitcoin supply is currently in the hands of the long-term hodlers. What's going to happen when there's no more biddies for them to scoop up? Prices go up. It's just basic stock to flow, supply and demand. Anyways, the Lightning Network is orders of magnitude larger and easier to use than it was in 2017. Facts, we are ready. Hold on to your butts. So hold on to your butts, family. And as shared here, let me go back to this story and read some here. MicroStrategy stock receives a significant boost as 1 million for Bitcoin advocate Samson Mow lends his bullish endorsement. And as I mentioned earlier, MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holdings have now surpassed $10 billion, putting them over $4 billion in profit. And it took them 4 years to achieve this, as they were the first publicly traded company to put Bitcoin on the balance sheet back in 2020. And already the ETFs from the inflows of BlackRock and Fidelity and the likes have already collectively surpassed 200,000 Bitcoin in 1 month. So the ETFs have achieved what it took MicroStrategy 4 years to achieve. That's right. But anyways, in a recent tweet, a member of the crypto community unveiled a groundbreaking theory concerning the stock float compression of MSTR. The individual elaborated on what they term the compression multiple theory, drawing parallels between the trading dynamics of GameStop during the 2021 short squeeze and the current situation with MicroStrategy. According to the theory, MSTR stock float compression, driven by a combo of forced buy-side volume and resilient retail investors, mirrors the pattern observed in GME during the unprecedented surge. The tweet predicts that MSTR, currently trading at approximately 1.2 times its net assets, can potentially see a surge in value akin to GameStop's multiple of net assets, which reached 49 times during the short squeeze. That would be wild. The anticipation is for MicroStrategy to trade near the net assets witnessed in 2021, around 4 times, driven by factors such as increasing retail interest in Bitcoin, as well as bullish sentiment. The theorist attributes this compression phenomenon to the proportion of passive investors in MicroStrategy and changes in allocations to related indexes. And I'm curious, by a show of hands, family, how many of you are invested in MicroStrategy stock? Some say it's a superior version than the Bitcoin ETF because you can save on fees and they're more creative with what they can do. You know what I mean? So yeah, as Jeff pointed out here, Samson Mow responded, "Will be interested as I am bullish on MicroStrategy." So I'm curious how many of you guys are bullish on MicroStrategy, and can you see a short squeeze propelling it 49x from the current prices? Let me know. So yeah, Samson Mow expresses bullish outlook on MicroStrategy, indicating the sentiment shared by many within the crypto community. MicroStrategy's significant holdings of 190,000 Bitcoin and 3.5 billion, now 4 billion in unrealized gains with the recent price action further bolster the optimism surrounding the company's prospects. And as I mentioned earlier, MicroStrategy is also not only an advocate of Bitcoin like Samson Mow and extremely bullish and will continue accumulating forever, Laura, but they're also extremely bullish on AI, another thriving industry right now, which you all know, hence why all the billionaires and controllers of the world are currently invested in AI. MicroStrategy obviously is investing in it. Bill Gates has his own, AI. We have Elon Musk just launched his own AI, and I think that will continue as well. So yeah, MicroStrategy, very bullish on Bitcoin, and I like how they're putting this. The price of Bitcoin is still less than 0.06 million because we're thinking into the future. We all know Bitcoin in the millions is inevitable. The question is, when? Will it happen this cycle, as Samson Mow is suggesting? Will it happen following cycle? We have a halving which is going to occur in 2028. Could it happen then, 2029, 2030, as Kathy Wood is predicting? What are your honest thoughts, fam? Let me know in the comments in the live chat. I can personally foresee a 1 million biddy by the year 2029. That's my prediction. I'm sticking to it. But I also respect the fact that Bitcoin can do the unprecedented and hit 1 million this year with a 20x from the current price action. Can it happen? Absolutely. Is it the most probable scenario? I'm doubtful. I would throw, if I were to throw an allocation of percentage-wise, I would say 80-20. 80% chance, no $1 million this cycle, but 20% chance is still pretty strong, keeping it 100 with you guys. Meaning, I feel there's a 20% probability we can 20x this cycle. Is it the most likely probability? No. But can it happen? Absolutely. Anything can happen. One thing I won't do is underestimate Bitcoin. I refuse to do that. So when I see these targets, I know it's a possibility because it's unprecedented times we're living in. The dollar can hyperinflate. We could be at 10 million per Bitcoin this year. That's a probability. Will it likely take more time for the dollar to hyperinflate at a level like that? More than likely. But I still respect the prospect of anything can happen. You know what I mean? So regardless of what scenario plays out, 2024, 2025, be prepared. If Bitcoin rips the 500,000 per coin, make sure you got enough biddies stacked now. Be prepared. Max pain. And vice versa. What if we had a very lackluster bull cycle in 2024, right? And instead of going to 100,000 as we all anticipate, we stopped at 65 and we never even smashed the existing all-time high. And we failed to enter price discovery in 2024. What are you going to do to seize the moment? Are you going to buy more Bitcoin knowing eventually it's going to smash price discovery? Maybe it's the following year in 2025. What are you going to do about it? Be prepared for all scenarios because at the end of the day, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to repeat it one more time. Bitcoin is mathematically guaranteed to increase in purchasing power because the US dollar is mathematically guaranteed to decrease in purchasing power. And that's all you need to know. Welcome, Duncan Bailey. Appreciate you subbing to the #1 Daily Bitcoin Pod. Let me know your thoughts, family, in the live chat.